Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, and yesterday I was just so low in spirits that I stayed in bed. I was productive. I was searching for cottages. I'm thinking of going and renting a place for a few months, maybe. And my kids will look after the house for me, just to get away and maybe do some writing, I don't know, because I just can't relax. You can't run away from your problems though, can you? You can't run away from grief. Wherever, I could jump on a plane to Cuba and that isn't going to make me feel any better. I'm not going to say about losing Alfie, because I haven't lost him. I feel that he's with me now, and I'll be with him soon enough. I can't stand for him to be there alone. His body, I know it's just his body, but I've written, and I'll tell you in a little while, I've written out the inscription that I think I'm going to have on the headstone, which I showed you the other day, and I've just got to get that off to the stonemasons today, and that's about all I'm going to do. I've been up since 5 this morning. It's now, I don't know what time it is, 11 o'clock, 11:30. Anyway, I went to put something in my bin, and yesterday I didn't sweep any leaves. And I think I've told you they call me the leaf lady because I'm out there every day sweeping leaves, and an enormous amount of leaves. And yesterday I just didn't. But I went out to put something in my bin, and let me show you what my barmy neighbour has done. This gets me so cross. Can you see it? He's put all the leaves in a great big pile. All the leaves from next door and mine in a great big pile in the middle of my drive. That's the leaves from next door and mine. What does he think I'm going to do with them? You know, for some reason during the winter months they don't collect garden waste here. We have a recycling bin and a bin for rubbish, but no bin for garden waste or facility for garden waste. So what I've been doing is, sorry, I'm going to put you down here. I've got some music on so I can hear it. Sorry. No, it's not right, is it? Oh, Annie. That's better. I've got no facility for garden waste, so in the winter. So my son tends to take it, because he has. I'm just going to take all that. Why he's done that and put it all in the middle of my drive, I've got no idea. He's so interfering. I mean, he's helpful at times, I admit, and he tries to help out, but to do that, I mean, he is interfering. And as I say, my neighbours have gone away. They've been away now for quite a while. No sign of them coming back, and I had to replace 2 of their fences that were coming down, and now the others are coming down, so it looks as though I'm going to have to replace those. And then these next door, I've replaced 2. Another 2 have gone that their kids broke, so I'm going to have to replace those. It's all money. And you know, the compensation I got for the medical negligence claim, it's almost gone, with funeral costs and headstone and things I've bought for the house, not much, but certain things, and giving money away, gave a lot of it away. I've got enough to rent a cottage for a year, and just keep a bit in the bank. Well, as much as I had in the bank before I had to pay out. So it's deciding what I'm going to do. Should I rent a cottage for 12 months, ask my kids to look after this, or should I get this cleaned up, get my personal stuff out and rent the house out? I don't really like the idea of that. I could go through a company, through an agent, and ask them that it be a let to a company, in which case there's not going to be any problem with tenants. They'll be professional people who are going to have their rent paid for them by whatever company they work for. So there's that. I could do that. I don't know. Or get one of my kids to stay, get my grandson to stay, maybe. Move in with a friend and pay me a little bit of rent. I don't know. I tend not to take off my family, and I'd prefer not to take off my family. I'd rather give. And you know, I had the most wonderful husband, the most wonderful man, and for some years there I didn't realise it when I was so independent and so career minded, and a high flyer I was in more ways than one. And you know, jetting off to Cuba, jetting off to the States, Lord knows how many times. And now you ask me, would I change my certain things in my life? Oh my God, yes I would. And I don't say that in a blasphemous way. Yes, I would change a lot of things. Including the reaction to Alfie's illness. You know, we went along with everything that the doctors said, and in some cases the doctors were exceedingly wrong about Alf as they were about me. And with Alfie they put him on a certain medication called Rapinol, which is an antipsychotic drug, and having read up on it subsequent to our experience, Alf was seeing rats coming at him. He was seeing all sorts of things. It must have been terrifying. And I begged the doctor to take Alf off that medication. And really, you know, although we were told you're getting the best treatment in the world here at the Queen Elizabeth, the neurology department at Queen Elizabeth, you're getting the best treatment. No, we weren't. He wasn't. He was, it's another form of vivisection, if you've heard of vivisection, where they experiment on animals, on living animals, and usually by cutting into them, but it can be by medication too. And this is what they were doing with Alf, and obviously other people who were there also, experimenting with drugs when some of those drugs hadn't even really passed whatever the states wouldn't have them, weren't passed by the FDA or whatever it was. You know, I've got all this in my head. I remember it just as I remember the vivisectionist in London, Tipu Aziz, who loves to experiment on living creatures, on animals, and one animal in particular, the same experiment on the same animal over 9 years. 9 years that animal suffered, until thankfully he passed over. I believe all animals have a soul. That's why I don't eat them. I'd no more eat the flesh of an animal than I would eat human flesh. I did. You know, I was brought up on meat and 2 veg dinners. My mum used to cook a roast in most every night. Bacon and eggs and sausage on Sunday morning. And I even cooked it when, you know, for Alf and the kids, until something clicked in my head and I thought, I can't do this anymore. And it's a bit like Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney when they became vegetarian, when they were looking out of their kitchen window and they saw the animals, and they'd given these sheep and stuff, other animals, names. They'd all got names, and they suddenly realised that these creatures who they'd named their friends were on their dinner plate, and they just looked, Paul and Linda, and decided, can't eat meat, no more. You know, a lot of people thought the Beatles, Paul, John, Ringo and George, a lot of people thought that, and I did as well, that they'd gone a bit doolally when they went off to India, and they were talking to the Maharishi yoga and all of this stuff, and experimenting with LSD and other drugs. Not that I'm condoning drugs by any means, but you know, they went there and they found a form of enlightenment. I really think that they did. And they all turned out, John Lennon, George Harrison, Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, they all turned out to be very good, decent men. And I think a lot of that was to do with that time that they spent in India with that Maharishi yoga. I can still see him in my mind's eye now with the big grey beard and dressed a bit like Gandhi in a loincloth. But you know, these men, these wise men, and Rumi, the Muslim poet Rumi, beautiful verses and beautiful quotes, and very relevant then when he was living in the 12th century, and very relevant today. I think, I'm not sure whether he was actually born on my birthday, same day and month, or whether he died on my birthday. I'll have to check that up. But anyway, I was going to tell you about Alfie Stone, which I've got a phone about, and I've had this book. It's full of quotes and just everything. I just but I think I've decided now. I've written it in here. So it will be on the scroll. I'm having a bronze double piece. That's the only ornamentation I'm having. And the double piece will go next to where I'm having Forever Loved, which I think is at the bottom of the quote, the inscription. So the inscription's going to be Alfie James Parks, 8th of May 1938 to the 22nd of August 2020. A courageous and gentle man. Husband and soulmate of Anne. Cherished father and Gandalf. Forever loved. And then on the step underneath the scroll, I'm having a quote from a poet, and the quote is, "Forget not that I shall come back to you." I'm waiting, Alf. I'm waiting.